Hello and welcome to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew and today we're talking about Elden Ring. So I have had a chance now to play on Xbox Series S, Xbox Series X, as well as PlayStation 5. And I'm going to tell you which one I would choose out of those. So if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's get started with this. So first of all, I have some pretty decent news to report. If you have an Xbox Series S, this game is playable. It does feel playable. If you happen to have a monitor with VRR support, it feels actually pretty decent. So there's some things with the Xbox version that completely make it, if you have both systems, like that should be your go-to 100%. Auto low latency. Yeah. That's a little feature you can click on in your Xbox. Auto low latency makes this game feel even smoother, even at 30 frames per second. Now, I bought 2 copies of this game. I bought it on Xbox, I bought it on PlayStation, because this is a pretty popular game. People want to know about it. I love From Software games, so this one's pretty great. Now, just because I'm saying that I think that you should go with the Xbox version if you have both, that doesn't mean the PlayStation version is bad. On the PlayStation 5, the 30 frames per second mode is literally unplayable. It's literally unplayable, at least for me, on an OLED. It was literally making me sick. I think that's been happening a lot lately though with 30 FPS games. They've really just been making me since I've had the OLED. I've yet to plug the PlayStation 5 version into the monitor to actually, to try that on that. I will be doing that today. I'm probably going to do that because I need to download the PlayStation 4 version and check that out as well to see if maybe that's a viable option. But I'm going to tell you right now, Elden Ring, the way that it looks right now is literally beautiful. I mean, it's not like, whoa, these are the best textures and all of that in the world. But anything less than what we're already getting on the resolution or the performance mode, I don't know if I could do it. I really don't know if I could lose that much more detail out of what is already there just on the performance mode. I don't know if that would be a viable option just to get 60 frames a second. That might be for you. I am going to try it and I'm going to actually make a video and post that video of the PlayStation 4 Pro, running the PlayStation 4 version and backward compatibility on the PlayStation 5. I am going to do that just so that we can kind of see how that one, how that does stack up. But as it sits right now, if you have a next-gen console and you want to play the next-gen version, I highly recommend the Xbox Series X as your go-to. If all you have is a Series S, if you have it hooked up to a TV with VRR and Dolby Vision, boy, you get a native 1440p resolution at 30 frames a second that honestly feels not too bad. It feels pretty decent. So the Series S version literally feels like Sekiro Shadows Die Twice did on the Xbox One X. It literally feels like that. So visual wise, Elden Ring is the best looking From Software game I've ever played in my life. Hands down, the best From Software game I've ever played in my life. It does, but it doesn't compare to the new, Demon Souls remake. I mean, there's a lot more fine detail in that remake that they did, but it's kind of a smaller, like they have, it's a different layout, so they can work with that a little bit differently. But From Software really stepped up their visuals on this game a lot. It looks really good. Now, I can't rule out checkerboard on every mode. You do get the gosh dang it, shimmering visuals on the vegetation. I can't rule out checkerboard. I think it is checkerboard on every mode. 4K mode, everything. I think it's checkerboard. Because you can really see that in the vegetation. It is, but it isn't distracting to a point like it's not as distracting as the Horizon Forbidden West. It's not that distracting. I mean, it could be if you sit there and dwell on it, but it's only on the grass. It only looks like that way on the grass, like on green grass as you start getting out there. You're only seeing that on the grass. That's why I'm saying it's not as distracting, because it's not like it's in the trees too. It's not like it's everywhere else. So for the most part, visual wise, this is definitely the best looking From Software game I've ever seen in my life. Now I would be doing gameplay right next to it, showing you guys gameplay, but I felt like I needed to just take a few minutes and kind of talk about things. So let's get back over to the Xbox features, and then we'll get to the PlayStation features and stuff. So Xbox features, you get auto low latency. That's a thing you can switch on your Xbox. You get Dolby Vision support, as well as VRR support. So if you have a dedicated screen that can handle all of that, like a monitor, I don't think you're going to be able to get Dolby Vision on a monitor. You would have to go with a TV for that, but for the most part, the resolution mode on the Xbox Series X on my OLED, that's 30 frames a second, and it's 30 frames a second on the PlayStation 5. With VRR, believe it or not, the Xbox version on the 30 FPS is playable that way. The screen doesn't judder as much as it does on the PlayStation 5 version. So my gosh, I do feel like the Xbox version is probably going to be like is probably going to be like a better pick. I mean, like if you already have the consoles, if you have both consoles, this is for the people that have both consoles. If you have both consoles, like, go with Xbox on this one. Trust me, get the 6,000 points and go with Xbox on this one. The PlayStation 5 version, for my friends out there and for the people that watch, if you have the PlayStation 5 version, this is not a bad game. It's just not playable in the 30 FPS mode. At least for me on my OLED. Like I just it started making me sick. And then I was like, "Whoa, man, like gosh, I just couldn't do it, just turning the camera a little bit. It's like it's too much. It's too fast." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that's terrible." But the 60 FPS mode is more than playable. You do get the frame drops or whatever, but you're not getting the screen tearing. I haven't seen any screen tearing. So as long as you're like running in a straight line and not panning the camera a whole bunch, you'll probably be all right. Like, I know you don't want to hear this. These are next gen consoles. I know you don't want to hear, well, it should be 60 frames a second, but this is a From Software game. I don't think I've ever had a stable frame rate on a From Software game, except for Dark Souls 3 running in backward compatible on my Xbox Series S or on my Xbox Series X with boost enabled. It runs at 60 frames a second now, and it did kind of run at almost like in between 45 to 60 on PlayStation 4 Pro, and then with PlayStation 5 that does run at 60 frames a second now. But they've always had like this uneven frame rate, and they've always had like this bad frame pacing for the most part. And I know you don't want to hear, bad performance on this game, because a lot of people have been looking forward to this, and I'm telling you that right now, as it sits, the Xbox version is going to give you the most stable. If you have the TV, you're going to have the screen for that. It's not just going to magically appear. Like, you're not just going to be like, "Oh yeah, I got the Xbox version, it's better." That is going to be a big factor in this. Like, if I turn off the VRR, it's a little bit better performant. Like, the screen's not as flickery or whatever, but it's still like in line with what PlayStation 5 is doing. So, I mean, maybe a little bit better in certain sections, maybe a little bit worse in certain sections, but for the most part, like, if you have that screen, the Xbox version is the way to go. And you can get at least the VRR on a monitor for $400. PlayStation 5 version is pretty solid. The PlayStation 5 version does render metal better It does. It renders metal, like the helmet and everything. It looks better on the PlayStation. It just does. PlayStation 5. I noticed this with MXGP 2021, and I've been noticing it a lot more lately. Every time I see metal, I'm starting to see the PlayStation pull ahead. Chivalry 2, PlayStation 5 pulls ahead, rendering the steel and the metal and the swords and everything. It just looks better on the PlayStation. I don't understand how metal can look that good on PlayStation and not have that extra like it's like this extra super sheen. Like the textures and everything look the same, but like there's just this extra like that makes it look like real metal. It's pretty cool, man. I do like that fact about the PlayStation. But as it goes for Elden Ring, yeah, dude, Elden Ring is an amazing game. This is probably by far my favorite. I'm not even lying. This game might actually unseat Castlevania Symphony of the Night from my favorite game of all time. It's probably gonna pass The Witcher 2 for the most part. Like this is what I dreamed Castlevania would be like as an open world experience. This is what I've dreamed about. This feels so Metroidvania to me that, oh man, I can run around and I can go through different areas at my own pace. I can build my character and then go back and get through different spots that I haven't made it through yet. This is amazing. Like, I'm really happy with this, and I hope that it continuously, holds that throughout this whole experience for me. Because as it sits right now, about 6 hours in, this game is freaking solid, amazing. Like, yeah, there's the whole performance bugs or whatever, but that to me is not ruining my experience. It's not destroying my experience. This is a From Software game. I knew what to expect when I went into that. I knew that this was a possibility. That's why I bought both copies. To be completely honest with you, that's why I bought the PlayStation 5 copy too. Everybody was like, oh yeah, the PlayStation 5 is going to run better. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to buy it. I want the best experience. I've had the best experience so far on the Xbox. The PlayStation 5 is a solid second. And the Xbox Series S, if you got a Series S, ooh, man, at least it's playable. And at least it's, it doesn't feel sluggish because of auto low latency in the built into the controllers. It feels responsive. It feels good. It feels fun to play. So that's my feelings about how I'm feeling about Elden Ring. I'm pretty excited about this game. I'm pretty pumped about it. I can't wait to just get into this weekend and like really play it. So I might not be making a lot of content this weekend. I might just be like putting my head down and like playing around with this. I might live stream some of it, but after seeing it with Dolby Vision, I kind of want to play it on my OLED, and I can't pass through the Dolby Vision, so I don't know. I might stream my experience. I might not. I want to be able to play around with this game and be a little bit selfish on this one, so yeah, I was looking forward to this. It wasn't like, like super high up on my, oh my gosh, I got to have that. I just didn't kind of know what to expect from it. And I kind of usually get bogged down with Souls games, toward the end of the game. I get bogged down. It usually takes me a long time to get into them and having to like really struggle through some of the bosses and stuff. It's definitely taken, some time to try to get through these, but gosh, I feel like this experience is going to be different. I feel like this experience is going to be not as challenging. I mean, it's still going to be challenging, but now at least I feel like I can just run and explore and do these at my own pace instead of getting from one part, exploring a little bit, getting stuck in another spot, exploring and getting stuck. I think that the flow of this game is going to be a lot better for me. That's why I'm really excited about it right now. Just the fun I've had in like 6 hours, just playing around, exploring stuff like that. Like, this is fun. This is fun. This is so much more open. I really do feel like From Software reinvented the Souls genre, and now it's going to be more approachable for a lot more people. And I really do like that. I liked that the one boss I got to, I liked it. He stomped me and stomped me and stomped me. I love that. I love that. I love that the challenge is there, but I love that the freedom to go and explore and take things on as I see fit is also there as well. Like this is probably the new beginning of like, whoa, dude, Souls games in the next gen are gonna be the best ever. This is great, and I do encourage you, if you are new to Souls games, come on, man. This is literally the best place to start playing Souls games. So I think this is great. I think you'll be happy, and I think you'll be able to learn a lot more playing through this. No, the game doesn't hold your hand, and that's what's good about it. You don't want these games to hold your hand. You want them to, you want to learn. You want to play them. You want to get into them and explore the world and stuff like that. And it's just so fun. So, I'm going to leave you right now. Go ahead and watch one of these 2 videos. I will see you in the next one. If you are new here, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. And like I said, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.